Hi, this is Uni. Welcome to the Unique Paradigms podcast. Thank you for joining me in our discussion. I appreciate the support. I've been very happy to extend our Shaktism series, and we'll continue to explore dimensions of Shaktism, Bhakti, the role of yogic rituals, and the influence on identity development. As previously discussed in our prior episode, Shaktism traditions are feminine. They embrace the female goddess form as being powerful. There are variations, though, of Shakti practice. That includes devotional puja rituals, folk shamanic practice, yogic tying into Kundalini, and we've heard of Tantra as well. It is multidimensional, and it does take time to discover what aspects of traditions in Hinduism or Shaktism is more prominent in defining your own identity. In our first part of the Shaktism series, we discussed differences between Hinduism and Shaktism, resonating in the various influences from both popular Hindu philosophical concepts related to karma, reincarnation, chakras, yoga, mantras, and other various traditions related to goddess worship. In Hinduism, we primarily see influences from scriptures such as the Bhagavad Gita, where we see more of a masculine form widely worshipped. In contrast, Shaktism has been transformed in several different ways. It is essential to perform a multidisciplinary inquiry where we consider the regions where we may see influences that uncover those transformative influences as well as we look at these different regions over time. In this lens, we can then clearly distinguish different pathways that help us to connect with Shaktism. On such a path, I think what's important is that we do remain unbiased, non-judgmental, and as we explore different regions and practices, and understanding that we have such a diverse group of individuals that are truly connected to their forms and practices of Shakti worship. One such path that is important for me to share is through yogic meditation. This is particularly known for channeling processes such as visualization, meditation, and paradigm shifting through transformative identity development. This can be a powerful tool in developing mindfulness and consciousness. However, there are other things that influence a transformative process. I do seek to distinguish correlations that exist in scholarly literature of the practices of Shaktism related to regions of West Bengal, where we have most of the contributions stemming from that area. I also hope to expand research to other regions where Shaktism is prominent, to provide a different lens. Being from the Caribbean, I'm proud of my influence and connection to Hindu devotional traditions such as Sanatan Dharma, and as well as the shamanic forms of Shaktism at an early age that are still practiced in the Caribbean. From this perspective, I was able to develop a more global perspective, and my journey towards Kali worship was drawn both from an ancestral connection as well as an increased connection to her. Although I do continue to experience stigmas and misconceptions, my goal is to improve consciousness and transparency as we explore these various dimensions of Shaktism. The journey towards Shaktism requires that we also recognize the influence in our current environments and how this can help us form a more global perspective. There is an element of self-concept and self-awareness as we take this journey towards understanding the layers of Shaktism. The migration from Shakta universalism to the West really became prominent when we look at the roles of early yogi influencers, such as Ramakrishna or Vivekananda, where we see the presence of Vedanta centers. And they are prominent in the United States and Europe. But we can also see the influence looking at New Age religions that are both popular in Sanatana Dharma concepts such as karma, reincarnation, chakras, yoga, mantras, and also stemming from various traditions of goddess worship. Though Shaktism is practiced in regions of India, there are areas such as West Bengal that have not gained a major following in the West. It has migrated and it has been transformed in a variety of ways. In the initial stages of its migration as Shakta Universalism, it became popular through Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, that the followers set up these Vedanta centers in the United States and Europe. And they published a variety of books on Hindu traditions. Other forms of Shaktism followed. Over time, we did see trends of three major transformations of Hindu Shakta traditions in the modern West. We see Shakta Tantra, which has become a religion where we see the immanent goddess recognized as dwelling within a woman, and part of sexuality being a spiritual path as well. Kundalini yoga has become more popularized, I would say westernized as well. When we look at how this has been used in bringing bodily health, relaxation from stress, looking at introspection of oneself, understanding knowledge of even past lives. So there was a self-conceptualization process that's stressed in this particular form. Additionally, we see the worship Hindu goddesses as being less prominent and being more focused on Kali. In the modern context, we kind of see a Freudian view where the goddess is bringing a sense of understanding past traumas, or goddess worship is seen in New Age books as being a lot more feminist. And a large following of feminist writers are looking into Kali as being a personification of female power. And there are special puja rituals that incorporate these particular energies. But we also see that other Hindu goddesses, such as Lakshmi or Saraswati, are not as prevalent. So there are aspects of bhakti that has become stronger through Shakta Vedanta, in which we see the goddess is a symbol of all religions and beliefs. But these new religions and interpretations have really become popular and prominent because of these Indian practitioners who have visited the West and gained groups of disciples and Western writers and theological groups. So what's important is, as we're looking at these workshops, seminars, or going through the literatures, that we understand that they have also come up with their own interpretations of these traditions. So a comprehensive view of New Age adaptations is needed as we look at Shakta mixing and matching in these different areas. So there is a connection that we really will find as we are exploring these dimensions. The connection is personal and it should be well informed. We will continue to critically assess the dimensions of Shaktism, Bhakti traditions, and the interconnections of yogic rituals throughout the series. I look forward to speaking to you all soon.